Hey math lovers, let's go over G6. Hint, use a placeholder of B0. So I'm going to write these problems and I'm going to put a space between them. And we've talked about how the placeholder, it tells you to use B equals 0. So I'm going to put a 0. Now, the variables that I have are X and Y. And basically what we're going to use is we're going to be using the Xbox method. And this method will only work if you have a trinomial, which we have now, yellow, green, yellow. And then the second part to make this work is you have to have, and look at the exponent. What's half of 14? That would be a 7, and half of 8 is 4. So my placeholder is 0x to the 7th, y to the 4th, okay? All right, let's go ahead and just get some values here. So this is my A value, B value, and C value. Okay, let's use that in our X method now. Remember, we have to use both the X and the box because A is greater than 1. A times C is 4 times negative 9 is negative 36. And the B value is 0. Remember, to review, we talked about how these two numbers have to equal, when we add them together, equals 0. Add. Right? Well, that means that one of these numbers is going to be a positive. One's going to be a positive and one's going to be a negative. So take that number, 36, and take the square root of 36. That would be 6 and 6. So positive 6 times negative 6 equals a negative 36. Remember, those two numbers multiply, or we call that the product. And then those same two numbers also add to be 0. Okay, now let's move on to the box part. There in red, I have a positive 6 and a negative 6. Okay, let's not forget that we are using these right here. That's part of the placeholder. So x to the 7th, y to the 4th. X to the 7th, y to the 4th. Because if you add those two, it would basically equal 0, x to the 7th, y to the 4th. And then there in the top left, you have the first term, which is 4x to the 14th. Remember, whatever's here is going to go right there. We can see that was kind of in black, but. And then the last term will always go here, negative y to the 8th power. Okay, let's go ahead and let's factor this. Okay, in this direction, what do they have in common? I see that they have a 2 and an x to the 7th. And in this direction, they have a negative 3 and a y to the 4th power. Let's choose a blue color. If you go in this direction, what do they have in common? They have a 2 x to the 7th, and you're going to have a 3 y's to the 4th. Okay, and just a reminder, as you're multiplying to check your answer, 2 times 2 is 4, and x to the 7th times x to the 7th is x to the 14th. Same base, add the exponents. And then if you're in doubt, write them all out. So let's go ahead and write our answer here. That would be 2x to the 7th plus 3y to the 4th, and then 2x to the 7th minus 3y to the 4th. Again, let me show you a different way. So I'm going to show you a different way, and it still works. If you take the square root of 4, that is a 2, The square root of x to the 14th, this is, they call this fractional exponents. This would be 14 times a 1/2, or 14 divided by 2 is the 7. And then if you do the same thing over on this side, notice I didn't include the negative. Square root of 9 is 3, and square root of y to the 8th, which is 8 divided by 2, because there's a 2 in there, that would give us the 4. Okay, so a different way of getting the answer for G6. See you guys.